Hello guys, sorry I have to make a second part because first part I completely said, and halfway halfway in between the recorder stopped and I have to again start from between. Yep. So I covered a lot of things in between, like Docker Compose, why do we need them and all. I'll This time I'll go fast and cover them. And in the last I was talking about I was just talking about if we use the same I'll come up with a if we use the same named volume for different Mongo containers, the data will be persistent, right? And that is what I talked about that time. And by that, by then the recorder stopped. Sorry about that. That is one way of doing it, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all because we have to go inside and check all the files. I mean, we have to go and check the we basically have to inspect the container in order to get the values of gateway IP address. For example, sudo docker containers inspect. This is what I did in order to get the gateway IP address. Okay, that was MongoDB inspect. Sorry, wallet. Sorry about that. Yeah, so that is how I got the gateway address. It is not running, that is why it says no gateway address, right? So I got the gateway address, I copied the gateway address over here in the connection string, then I copied the port number which I was exposed to 27018. But now Docker Compose is there to help us. Why is it there? First of all, we don't have to remember all these long lengthy commands for different containers. We just have to do one thing, that is Docker Compose up. That is it, right? And we can stop it by saying Control C, or we can run it in detach mode and just say down. That's all about it. So I'll walk you through with this Docker Compose YML file. Okay, version is 3.3. You can go and check which version of Docker you want to use. You can use any version. I mean, the newer version has some newer functionalities or newer syntax that we can use. For me, 3.3 is enough. So first of all, yeah, in the YML file you do have to worry about the indentation. For example, all the root level indentation is 0. I mean, there is no space. The second level will have a space of 2. This is 2 spaces. There, here we'll have 2 more spaces for the children. That is how we represent the children, right? So for services, it's basically a containers that we want to run. We have 2 containers, right? We have 2 containers. So I'll show you by command. Okay, I'll start with the MongoDB one because that is more important for now. So there's a MongoDB wallet container with the name of MongoDB. So I'll give a MongoDB name. Image is built on top of Mongo image. So I'll say Mongo. Container name I want to keep the same as MongoDB wallet. So it will have a MongoDB wallet. It has a volume, that is wallet volume connected to /data/db. So I add volume like wallet volumes that is mapped to the /data/db. So anything that is there inside that db or anything that changes will eventually be synced to this wallet valve named volume. And when we make a new container, then what all data that is present inside this volume will be copied to this place, right? And that is how we persist the data. Now the second container we have is our backend that has a both code backend and front end. So backend has certain things. First of all, starting with the name, it has a wallet container. We'll say a wallet container. We hit enter. We exactly 2 spaces, just 2 spaces, right? That's it. So what is the image? See, this image is not existing in my Docker Hub or any registry out there. So here we have used an image called wallet image. I can do that, but there is a problem. Whenever we change the code, then I have to build an image again by writing a code like docker build tag name that would be wallet image dot. But the whole point of having a YML Docker Compose file is to not have any command, right? So how can we get over it is to mention a place where our Docker file is existing, so that the Docker Compose will eventually look and make an image out of it, itself, right? So we don't have to really make an image and tell the image, but we can just tell where the Docker file is available, in which directory Docker file is available, and it will do it for us. Now the container name is, I want to keep the same, so I'll keep it the same name. Ports, we have exposed our 8000 port in our local machine to 4000 port in the container. So that is what we do. Volumes, okay, this I'm gonna talk about later. I'll just comment it. Right, depends on is something. For example, when we make a backend application, we want the database already started beforehand. If that's not the case, then backend will eventually show us an error and things will not go as intended to be, right? So that is why it is depends on, which says MongoDB wallet container should be up and running before running this wallet container, right? That is what it's all about. Now there is a root level volumes where we have to add all the names of volumes which are named volumes. This is a named volumes, right? This is not a named volume, this is a bind volume where we specify the path, right? So there's only one named volume, so which I'll specify. There is wallet dash volume colon. That's it. I know it's a bit weird syntax, but you'll get hang of it, right? With that, we just need to do docker compose up. That's it, and that will eventually gonna be up and running, right? We can log in. I've already made a account as to, so yeah, you can see it's up and running. Now I'll close it. We can run it in detach mode by specifying dash d, sorry, dash d, right? And yeah, so why did I, okay, now it's working. I'll show you again. Wallet manager is working. Okay, now suppose I am in a development environment. I make some changes to the code. Where is my code? For example, there's a 4-letter, I do it as a 1 exclamation mark. I refresh, still stays the same. And this is pretty much a bad experience when we are developing a code, and that is where bind volumes comes into picture. We can bind our current directory. We can just say / current directory to the directory where our code resides, that is /app. We can see in the working directory, right? So this way we says any changes that are made here should be reflected into the code that is inside my container, right? And now I'll just close my container. I'll run it again, and now if I change anything, still a single mark that we don't have to. Yeah, I'll do 3, go over, refresh. Yeah, we can see 3 exclamation mark, right? Yeah, that's all about Docker Compose. And why do we have it? It's really simple. With Docker Compose we don't have to write long commands in order to keep different environment container up and running, and we don't have to really worry about much things. It's just 2 simple command. It does most of the job. Yeah, and do let me know if you want me to create a video that explains exactly what all this instruction does in detail. I would definitely do it. And yeah, like any other suggestion, I'm planning to make a deployment of one stack to AWS, but I realized later that I need to have a credit card. So yeah, I'm working on it. Like when I do it, I'll let you know. Thanks.